Ever since I released that video showcasing my new arm wrestling home gym, one of the most common questions that I've been getting all over my social media platforms is whether you should get a full pulley stack like the one I showcased in my video. And for the most part, my answer has always been it's up to your personal preference, but I decided to make this video today to showcase to you some of the reasons why I decided to make the change from a regular table-mounted pulley, which I used to have, to a freestanding pin stack with loaded plates. So the number one reason I switched over is for quality of life improvement. Now, unlike some of those guys out there with very balanced left and right arms, my arms are vastly different in strength level, and this results in me having to always pick up and switch weights between sets for my left and right arms. And I know that this sounds like a very first world problem kind of thing, but honestly, it does get extremely tiring and monotonous and frustrating after doing this for years and years and years. And making things as easy as possible, as seamless as possible, as fuss-free as possible is one of the best ways you can make yourself more consistent in sticking to your program. And I know a lot of people who have given up training one or both of their arms just because of the laziness that is a result of having to switch the weights and do things like that. And having this pin stack really changed the game for me. So to show you what I mean, I'm gonna do a little bit of an experiment over here. I'm gonna show you the difference in amount of time taken to switch weights using my old system, which is a table-mounted system, versus using the new system, which is the freestanding pin stack. And the way that I'm gonna do this experiment is that first, I'm gonna show you how long it takes for me to switch a weight when I'm not using the freestanding pin stack. And of course, I don't have my old system with me right now, so I'm just going to do a simulation of it. I've got my little loading pin down there, and I'm going to switch the red weight to the blue weight. This is a very light weight, only 2.5 kilos, and I'm going to be timing on this timer how long it takes exactly for me to do this weight change. And I'm going to start the timer and then run over, switch the weight, and run back and stop the timer. This is going to simulate me having to switch a weight from in between sets. And the time starts now. Boom. And that took about 15 seconds, a little over 15 seconds. Now, I'm going to try this with a heavier weight. So I'm going to do not just a 2.5 kilo switch, but I'm going to do it with a 10 kilo switch just to show the difference in time required. So now I've got a 10 kilogram plate loaded. I'm going to switch it with a 15 kilogram weight, and we'll see how long that takes. Time starts now. And 19 seconds, obviously a little bit slower than the smaller weights. So now time for the comparison when using that freestanding pin stack. And I'm just going to be doing switching from one pin to the next one. And I'm going to do the same thing, use the timer over here, start here, swap it out, come back, stop the timer, and let's see how long that takes. Time starts now. And time stops at 5.93, a little under 6 seconds. So practically, more than two times as fast as the previous system. But wait, guys, I know some of you are going to say, hey, that's not fair. With that loading pin, you're able to do smaller weight increments. You can do like 2.5 kilos. This one, it's like every 5 kilo jump, and you can't do as small jumps as you can, but I'm gonna show you the method that I use to do smaller increments on this loading stack as well. So what I use is this little device over here. This is like a pin extender or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. I'll put the name over here. But what this does is that you load it onto one of the plates, preferably the highest one on the stack, and grab a smaller plate, place it right there, and that's how you swap things out. And I'm gonna time this as well, how long it takes for me to swap out something like this from a blue one to a red one. So I've got the blue plate loaded over there, got the red one over here, gonna swap them out and let's see how long that takes. Timer's over here at 0 and time starts now. And 10 seconds. So a little slower than just simply switching the pins from 5 kg increments, but still, it's still a good 50% faster than the fastest time that I could get with the previous system. But of course, it's not all sunshine and roses. There are many pros and cons that come with using either system. For example, using this bigger one, obviously it's not very portable. Once you've set it in a space, you can't really move it around as you wish, and you have to have a certain amount of space for this to work. If you have space constraints, if you live in a small apartment, that's probably not going to be something that's very feasible for you. Something like the table-mounted one might be way better for you in that case. And of course, the table-mounted one, much cheaper. Usually you can get one online for about 200 or 300 bucks. This bigger system ran me close to 1,000 Singapore dollars, so at least 3 or 4 times more expensive depending on what kind of system you get. And for a lot of these bigger pulley systems, a lot of them require you to drill the system to the wall. So mine is a freestanding one, but for most of those out there, they require you to drill into the wall for a very good reason, and I'm going to show you why that is so. So this is a problem only if you're going from a higher angle downwards, like how I'm showing you right now. But as you start to go higher and higher in weight, as it starts to go past the 50% mark for the amount of total mass that this machine has, look at what happens when I start to pull this. See how the pulley itself starts to move? You're gonna need some counterweights to balance that out sometimes, or prop something up, maybe prop the table up against the pulley so that it doesn't collapse on you as you're training. But yeah, that's one very big con if you're getting something like this, which is why a lot of people require you, a lot of the systems require you to drill it into the wall so that that doesn't happen. But of course, having this system by itself also allows for a lot of more flexibility in terms of the angles. I can switch the angle to go from like 45 degrees to, more side pressure based, switch it for left hand, right hand, way more easily than if I were to use a table mounted pulley, which will only set me right here in the center most of the times, unless you get multiple pulleys and attach them at different parts of the table. Then you're going to be able to target different angles of arm wrestling vectors. But for this system, all I need to do is move my table and I'll be able to target whatever I want. So those are some of the pros and cons of owning a table-mounted pulley versus a freestanding pulley. And I hope that after watching this video, it really helps you to consider whether you want to switch to one or the other. Based on my own opinion, I think the most important factor, for me at least, is the ability to be able to switch the weights faster with less hassle, which is why I chose to switch to this system as opposed to the old system. But for you, your own priorities may be different. Maybe the cost could be your priority, or not having to drill it into the wall could be your priority. Depends on yourself, but I hope this was informational. Catch you beasts in the next video.